Hi, this is Dennis at Fisherman's Source. Today I'm going to be going over a couple knots that I like to tie, I'm very confident in, and I can do them relatively quickly. The first one we're going to start off with is the FG knot. If you're surf casting, casting plugs, bottom fishing, you have a long leader, or you're just casting as hard as possible, and you don't want to hear the clanking of a big bulky knot, the FG knot is by far one of my favorite ones to do for very light line and super heavy line. Whether you're going bass fishing at a lake or going tuna fishing, it's a great knot, and I'm going to show you that one today first. And then my second go-to knot, let's say I'm in a pinch, I break off and I got fish in front of me, I'm going to put on a uni to uni slice. It's a very quick knot. You can do it in less than a minute once you get used to it, and it's a very strong, quick and simple knot. Right now, one of the go-to lines that I use is BERKLEY X9. It's very thin, very strong, and casts great. It'll definitely add a couple of yards to your cast compared to the other lines out there. And then doing 30-pound X9 and 30-pound mono, that's just the most popular lines that everyone uses for surf casting, fluking, striper fishing. And now that we went over all that, we're going to get into the FG knot. To get started, make sure you have your line cutters of some sort. What I have here are ceramic cutters. They work great for anything under 50-pound braid, mono, fluoro. And then if you are tying this knot with 50-pound or heavier, the scissors cut well for the heavier stuff. Now, what you want to do is make sure you get some tension on the line. So putting in a rod holder or leaning it against something secure. And what I'm going to do is start wrapping around my pinky about 5 or 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you'll see why later on why I do 5 or 6. All right, so now we're going to put the mono on top of the braid about 2 to 3 inches from the pinky, and then I'm going to wrap the mono around my fingers right here for extra tension on that side, and we're going to go over the mono like so. Now what I'm going to do is pinch right here with my pointer and thumb on my right hand and start my wraps. I'm going to do about 12 to 15 wraps. I'm going to start like this. 2, 3, 4, 5, 11, 12. All right, so it's going to look something like this. So I'm going to do 12 here because this is 30-pound braid and 30-pound mono. Perfect for your striper surf casting, or you're throwing metal lips or plugs off a boat. Average, that's about the line that you're going to be using. And now what we're going to do is unwrap right here. And now the reason why I only did 5 or 6 is that this is the perfect amount of tag end to be able to do your half hitches. And the half hitches is what is going to secure the end of the knot. So we're going to start with the first one right here. I'm going to keep tension here. I'm going to pull like that. And I'm only going to do 2 for now. Pull tight. And now what we're going to do is cinch the knot. And what you're going to notice is when the braided line starts to get a little darker, that's when you know it's really hugging the mono. And that's the main part. So now I'm going to pull. As you can see there, it's starting to cinch and get a little darker. Now, I'm not going to pull super hard. I'm not going to pull over 30 pounds because I could damage some of the knot and the line, and give it a nice pull. So now it's going to look like that. Now that's not going anywhere. You can fish it just like so, but after a bunch of casts, it can unravel. So we're going to do some more half hitches. All right, so now there's a total of 4. That's not going anywhere. So now what we're going to do, so we're going to take our ceramic cutters by AHERN tackle. We're going to trim fairly close to the knot. We're going to finish the rest with a couple more half hitches. Now you can mushroom head it with a lighter or a torch, or use your teeth to kind of flatten it out. But for right now, we won't do that. Now we're going to do a couple more half hitches just to settle down the tag end of that mono so it doesn't catch your guides. All right. Now that we got rid of that tag end a little bit, We're going to do a couple more half hitches on the main line just under the tag, kind of creating an arc. So now that is not slipping out, no way. I'm going to do a couple more. All right, so now at this point, I could just trim the tag end of the braid right there. This knot will last me all day long, no problem. But if you don't like to change knots that often and you don't have any damage to your braid or leader, I'm just gonna do a finishing knot here that'll last me a little bit longer. Some of the problems you might find with the FG knot on your finishing end of it is that it might unravel. And the reason why is when you're just constantly going through the guides, some of these half hitches might unravel. So you can either tap it with super glue or just do a finishing knot. Some people like the rizzuto. Now you could just trim this here and leave it that way, but I like to do a little finishing knot kind of like this. I'm gonna do 1, 2 wraps, and then I'm going to come and bring my tag end through this opening right here. Kind of pull it there. And now you're going to notice that there is going to be a little kink there. And you can pull it through after a little bit of lubrication. Just a little moisten it up so it doesn't get too much friction. And then I'm going to pull tight. And that's how I finish my knots. It's a little quicker and it's a little bit more efficient. I've never had a problem doing it this way. I enjoy doing it this way and it has never failed me. And now here we can grab our ceramic scissors, cut very close, but maybe just a little bit of tag end so it looks like this. And now you have a very strong FG knot. So for surf casting, it'll go through the guides very smoothly. And if you're bottom fishing, there's not going to be a kink at the tip if you're dropping straight down, or if you're just fishing a 6 to 10 foot top shot, it's a very smooth knot that can go through the guides and through the reel very easily. All right, and that's the FG right there. And now we're going to do the uni to uni splice. And here's why this knot is important. So let's say I'm using the FG, it's doing great, and then I break off. And I got fish blowing up in front of me and I just want to tie a leader on really quick. It's going to be the uni to uni. The FG can take anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes depending on how advanced you are, and then the uni to uni can take less than a minute. So what we're going to do here is grab the mono, grab the braid, about 4 inches of tag end, like this. What I'm going to do is grab the braid and the mono, start off with the braid. I'm going to make a loop. Now I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and pull outwards. There's the first one. Now I'm going to switch around because it's easier for me. Now with the mono, I'm only going to do it 4 times because it's thicker and has memory to it. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll pull it pretty tight. And now we're going to pull together the knot. And this is the most important thing. A lot of people complain about how their uni knots fail. And I think it's because they are not cinching it to its full potential before cutting their tag ends. So what I'm going to do is grab the braid and the mono pretty securely and give it a couple good pulls. Now I know that it is cinched. If you just do one cinch and cut the tag ends and then you, let's say, hook up on a fish, or you just get snagged on a simple little snag that you can probably pop off of, a lot of people say that their knot pops right there and they're not confident in the knot after that. But this is a very strong, easy knot to do, has a little bit of bulk to it, but not too much. So all you gotta do is make sure that you cinch it properly before cutting the tag ends. And then once it's cinched, you can cut the tag end fairly close. Now we're gonna do the braid. And then there she is. So once you get good with it, it can only take a couple seconds. So that's why I like doing this one, because it's very strong for how quick you can tie it, and it's fairly easy. It's a very good beginner's knot. For freshwater, it's a very good knot. When you're using light line, the knot's going to be not very bulky, and depending on how thick it is, if you have micro guides, it does go through very well. And right here, like, I can put a tremendous amount of pressure on it for it not to break. And like I said, if I have time to do an FG, that's my go-to. But like I said, if I'm in a pinch or I'm just fishing super light line and I don't really need to do an FG knot, this is my go-to knot. So that was the FG and the uni to uni knot, and I hope that was very helpful. Like, comment, subscribe, let us know your favorite knot. Whatever knot you're the most comfortable in. If there's a better knot out there, let us know. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and have a great one. We'll see you out there on the water.